Have you ever sat in an airplane and it suddenly started barking? Well, that is the sound of the Airbus's PTU. What is the PTU, you ask?
The power transfer unit on an A320 allows for pressure to be transferred between two hydraulic systems.
Hydraulic systems are what give an aircraft the muscle to move its parts, like steering, braking, and adjusting the wings.
You see, on an A320, in order to move the flight controls such as ailerons, flaps, and even just to brake and bring the aircraft to a stop, hydraulic power is needed.
There are actually 3 separate lines that power all of these on an A320: the green, the yellow, and the blue line. The green line is powered by the left engine, the yellow is powered by the right engine, and the blue one is powered by the dog in the cargo bay. Just kidding, it's powered by a separate electric motor.
Most of the times, in order to save fuel, airlines have a policy where only one engine should be running on the ground.
This can actually add up to be quite significant savings in the long run, especially when operating in huge airports such as Amsterdam Schiphol or New York JFK, where it's not unusual for taxiing to take anywhere from 30 minutes to well over an hour, especially with inclement weather.
Now, when the first engine is turned on, let's say the left engine, only the green hydraulic system is pressurized.
But remember, most of the systems on the aircraft are designed to be powered by multiple hydraulic sources for redundancy. That's where the PTU comes in.
If only one engine is running, like during engine startup at the gate or after landing when one engine is shut down to save fuel, the PTU kicks in to transfer pressure from the active system, in this case the green one, to the inactive one, which is the yellow one. And that way both systems and equipment associated with each system can still function properly.
And it's exactly this that causes the barking noise you hear coming from below the aircraft's floor, particularly if you're sitting near the wing, as that's the closest you can get to the location of the PTU. Now, here's the fun part.
The PTU doesn't use or transfer any fluid from one system to the other. It only transfers pressure.
Think of it like 2 people pushing on opposite sides of a wall. They're both applying pressure, but they're not passing anything through to each other. This is because the green and the yellow systems are designed to be redundant and should remain redundant. If the PTU transferred fluid instead of just pressure, it could be a big problem.
For example, if the green hydraulic system leaked due to a damaged pipe, the yellow system would remain without any fluid too, putting the aircraft in a highly undesirable state where it will be extremely challenging to control.
Instead, the PTU allows for pressure transfer without hydraulic fluid transfer, so that if something happens to one line, the other remains operational.
It's also important to note that the PTU automatically activates when the difference in pressure between the green and yellow line is greater than 500 psi, on the A320 at least.
And this is something that can happen during single-engine taxi. And because of how it's mechanically driven, it makes this very distinctive sound. Some call it the barking dog. Others say it sounds like someone sawing metal or trying to start a car that just doesn't want to cooperate.
But during taxi, in order to avoid making passengers hear this noise the whole time, which can be quite annoying, I understand, and also to avoid overstressing and overheating the PTU, mainly, usually a special electric pump is activated on the yellow system.
Because, yes, the yellow system also has an electric pump that can pressurize it in cases such as single-engine taxi. This means you will only hear the barking dog immediately after the first engine start until the pilots activate the yellow electric pump, or just before the second engine start when the pilots deactivate the same pump and the PTU performs a self-test. That's why sometimes you'll hear a short burst of barking even after landing. It's just a quick systems check. It makes sure everything is functioning correctly before it's needed. So yes, you shouldn't be hearing the sound too much because of the yellow electric pump. Oh, but did I mention that the yellow electric pump makes another sound too? Yeah, you thought you were about to taxi in silence? Wrong. The yellow electric pump has its own distinctive personality, very different from the PTU barking dog.
The sound of the yellow electric pump is more of a steady mechanical hum or whine.
Kind of like a vacuum cleaner warming up or a powerful electric motor spinning under load. It's smoother and more continuous than the PTU. No barking, no clunking, just a clean, high-pitched whir that starts and runs for a few seconds or minutes, depending on what's being operated.
You'll often hear it during taxi or especially when the cargo doors are being opened or closed.
That's because the cargo doors are big and heavy and require hydraulic power to lift and open those big doors. So if you're ever sitting in the cabin and hear this futuristic electric whine, almost like something out of a sci-fi movie, it's probably the yellow electric pump doing some behind-the-scenes work to make sure flaps, brakes and gear doors are ready when needed.
And as far as the dog goes, there's no angry dog downstairs in the cargo bay, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
As long as you bring noise-cancelling headphones, that is.